Hello, Gemini's new disc, called For Clarinet and Strings, is simply clarinet and strings in a mix together so that the clarinet isn't a high-profile instrument. The first item is Cyril Scott's Quintet for Clarinet and String Quartet, written in 1951 and given only its second live performance, probably by Gemini in the early 1990s. 15-minute work, rhapsodic in style, and it uses the instruments in various different combinations to give a very colourful 15 minutes. The other work for clarinet and string quartet by Tony Coe will be unfamiliar to everybody because it hasn't yet been performed. I commissioned a 2-minute piece for clarinet and piano from him for the Associated Board's Spectrum for Clarinet album, and he then orchestrated it and added 2 more little sections to make a 6-minute piece that tells the story of a man who's been staying in the countryside, wanders off in the dusk, gets lost, and is helped to come back by a magic bird who flies down and helps him. There are 3 duos on the disc. The duo by Rebecca Clark for clarinet and viola was written in 1941. She was not only a terrific composer, but she was a wonderful viola player, and in the 1920s and early 30s travelled the world literally with the top musicians around, and I've got a list of quite a few of them here. It's not complete, but interesting. Schnabel, Casals, Granger, Heifetz, Hess, Monter, Rubinstein, Suchier, Sell and Thibault. Her brother was a leading chemist, but also a very fine clarinetist, so she felt very comfortable writing for the 2 instruments and uses them in very, very colourful ways and combinations, accompaniment and solo or duo or whatever. There isn't a lot of repertoire for clarinet and viola, so I asked the Australian composer Sadie Harrison if she would write something for clarinet and viola as well. She was very affected by the fires in Australia in 2019 and 2020, and her piece tells the ancient Aboriginal myth of how fire was carried around the country. And it ends in the present day with a lament for the whole world, which is very, very powerful. The third duo is, in contrast, by Howard Skempton, Lullaby, a short piece with a beautiful cello line that gives a nod to J.S. Bach, and in the middle, just briefly, the clarinet floats in and out, not to disturb the baby sleeping in the corner. And there's a quartet for clarinet and string trio by our honorary president, Nicola Lefanu. You'll have heard the 3rd movement at the beginning of this film. And in her programme note, she states that her political and ethical beliefs underpin the 4 miniatures, though they are equally to be understood just as themselves, music. And finally, there's a bonus, again a piece by Howard Skempton, Gemini Dancers, which I wanted people to hear and to perform for a long time. Stephen Sutton suggested that we just pop it in as a bonus track for everybody. I was delighted, even though it does stretch the brief a little bit by occasionally adding a flute and a piano, and spoons. And we're going to end this little film with the final movement of that. Thank you for listening and watching.